What is up, everybody? This is Adam. Welcome back to Fouled Out. Today's episode of the podcast is our recap of week 1 of the NFL season, and we're going to look ahead to week 2 with some gambling picks and fantasy advice at the end of this podcast. Matt is going to be joining me in just a moment to go over one reaction to each game from week 1, so 16 different reactions, and Matt is going to tell us if they are fair reactions or overreactions based on the first week of the NFL season. Got some really good takes in here that I am excited to share with Matt and get his reaction to. Always a fun podcast overreacting to the first week of the football season. But before we get started, you can reach out to us, fouledoutsports@gmail.com. Really appreciate you guys listening and watching now on YouTube. If you are checking out the YouTube videos, really appreciate that. Make sure you like and subscribe so that we can grow the channel. Reach out to us. Tell us how you felt about week 1 of the NFL season and how excited you are for week 2. I guess week 1 was a tough week for Matt and myself and anybody who is a fan of the Detroit Lions or the New England Patriots. So maybe you are just listening or watching the podcast to enjoy our misery, and that's cool too. Reach out to us. Tell us our teams suck. Really love to hear from you guys. And again, thank you for listening and watching on YouTube. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel yet, go check it out. But for now, let's grab Matt. Let's talk week 1. Let's go. All right, Matt is here, fresh off of week 1 of the NFL season. Hopefully looking ahead to week 2, because week 1, not a fun one for either of us.
I really hope you deleted all of our off-season football podcasts.
Every single preseason podcast has been heavily edited only down to the things that were correct after 1 week. It's important to keep in mind that it was 1 week of football. And if you go back to any NFL season and look at the results after 1 week and then what ended up happening, it is drastically different. It is super duper easy to completely overreact to week 1.
Yep.
It's something you shouldn't do, but it's something that we're going to do right now by going through all 16 games.
Hurting in this particular way.
Did it not hurt that bad when the Lions sucked? Like, I felt
you expected it.
Okay, I felt like my week 1 was hard. My week 1 was tough with the Patriots because I had hope. And they just shit the bed, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not ready for another season of this."
So, this is where it's even different than 2023, right? Because we had a hope in 2023. We came into this season knowing that this team is full of absolute dogs, and then, well, literally the worst game I have seen since year 1 of the Campbell era.
Fair, but at least it is just week 1. And like I said, we shouldn't overreact, but we're going to with our overreactions to each of the 16 games from this past week. I just went in order of when the games were played, basically. So we're going to get in the Wayback Machine. This podcast is dropping on September 11th. So this game was played about a week ago. If you're listening to this the day it drops. The Eagles beat the Cowboys 24-20. Matt, my overreaction is that A.J. Brown is washed. He had 1 catch for 8 yards on 1 target, but more concerning than the actual stats he put up, per fantasy tracking data, A.J. Brown ran 31 routes. He had a 93.9% route share. Do you want to guess how many route wins he recorded on those 31 routes?
5.
0. A.J. Brown did not win a single route last Thursday against the Dallas Cowboys.
That's rough.
Overreaction or fair?
Overreaction. I'll give a brief explanation on that as well. It's very clear that the game plan was very much do not throw the ball. And On top of that, unlike all of the other top wide receivers in the NFL, AJ Brown exclusively plays big boy football. He takes more press coverage than any of these other elite wide receivers, so he has a harder job than any of them. So, like, I'm gonna give him a pass on a week one, and I expect we're gonna see him kind of have some other big games this year.
Yeah, I'll give
can
him
I throw one back at you?
Yes.
CeeDee Lamb is the most overrated wide receiver in football.
It might be fair after what we saw in week one.
Mm-hmm. So, depending on who you are, he dropped between 3 and 4 passes in that game. However, one game aside, last season, depending on who was tracking the data, he dropped between 7 and 11 passes last year, which, regardless of what that number is, that would be amongst the highest in the NFL.
Yeah. The reason I'll say it's fair is because a lot of people have him as like a top 3 or top 4 receiver in the NFL. And I didn't think he was there before this game. I wouldn't have him in my top 5, I don't think. So I'm not going to come on after him and be like, yeah, he's not overrated, because he's probably overrated before.
I actually did a ranking like a couple weeks ago. I had him 7th. Behind Jefferson, Chase, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, and Puka Nacua. So he is in that next tier with Drake London, Lad McConkey, those guys, BTJ.
The fact that there's a good white wide receiver and his name is Lad is the fact that his name is Lad is still one of my favorite things.
He's a good lad.
I think that's probably fair. For the record, I don't actually think AJ Brown is washed. He had a hamstring injury that I think is a little bit worse than they're telling us, and he got game planned out.
And also, if we're going to say he's washed, let's look at Devontae Smith.
Everyone's washed. They're all the Eagles. The whole Eagles team is washed.
Yes.
Game 2 was Friday night in Brazil. The Chargers win 27-21 over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs' playoff chances are in serious jeopardy. Overreaction or fair?
If they didn't have Patrick Mahomes, I would say fair. But I have seen this story too many times. Somehow he will make this work. Like, I don't know how, but he will.
Yeah. The case was that they're 0-1 in the division, and their next 5 games include Philly, the Ravens, and the Lions.
Yeah.
Not a fun schedule. Travis Kelce publicly executed Xavier Worthy on Friday with friendly fire, just completely took him out for however long he's going to be out. You don't have Rice. My question was, if they start 2-4, can they still make the playoffs in that division that they play in? And the bigger concern for me was that the O-line did not look fixed at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'll say it's just game 1, and we'll see what happens, especially because you're starting a rookie left tackle. But I say this take is fair. I think that we should be concerned about them at least winning the division at this point.
Yeah, and I would expect that their wide receiver 1 is going to be either Juju Smith-Schuster or Hollywood Brown until at least week 7. So
Hollywood had 10 targets in that game on Friday.
It's not where you want to be.
Yeah, that's a lot. Game 3 going into Sunday, 1 p.m. window. Indianapolis 33, Dolphins 8. Matt, starting Daniel Jones was the right decision for the Indianapolis Colts. They score on all 7 of their drives in this game, and Daniel Jones goes 22 of 29, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, and then 2 rushing touchdowns, another 26 yards rushing. Fair or overreaction?
Overreaction. Miami is a team that was coming into this game starting Storm Duck in their secondary.
Hey,
And
I will not stand here and listen to Storm Duck slander. It's the best name in football.
well, lucky for you, you won't have to anymore because you got hurt. So it got worse.
Just when you think it can't get any worse.
Yeah. I'll throw them back at you. It's not official yet, but Mike McDaniel is already fired.
That's probably an underreaction, if anything. Do you see his press conference today where they were like, hey, Tua Tagovailoa has more multiple interception games than any other quarterback over the last however many years? And he goes, they're like, how do you stop those? And he goes, yeah, we got to stop those. Like, it seemed like he didn't even know. He's just like, shit. I think that one's fair. I'm super interested in this week for both of these teams because Indianapolis plays Denver. So is it a case of you're going from the worst defense in the league in Miami to the best defense in the league in Denver, potentially the best? Like, how does that affect Daniel Jones? Or is Indianapolis's offense like actually good and they're going to shove it down Denver's throat and we're going to be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then the Miami Dolphins play the Pats, who are next on my hit list. Patriots lost 20-13 to the Las Vegas Raiders. Matt, the Mike Vrabel hire was overrated. This team was not ready to play on Sunday. The Raiders came out and basically walked in for a touchdown. The Patriots took the upper hand going into halftime. And whatever happened at halftime, the Mike Vrabel coached New England Patriots ran the ball a grand total of 2 times in the second half of that game. 2 times in a game you lost by 7. 2, Matt. For a team coached by Mike Vrabel, 2 fucking times. I'm over it, obviously. I've obviously moved on from this opening game loss.
Overreaction. It is week 1 of a new regime.
Thank God.
And I want to remind everyone that there was another really, really good head coach on that field in Pete Carroll.
I thought you were going to say Josh McDaniels.
The Raiders wish they could get him back.
Las Vegas Raiders revenge game. Yeah, it's obviously an overreaction.
Yeah, I'll mention one that actually kind of touches on another team that's not even in that game. Seattle fucked up.
How so?
Gino is at the very least on his worst days an above average quarterback, and they don't look to have one right now.
Yeah. That one may be fair. I have another one for Seattle because I have a legit take on that game.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say in the 1 p.m. window and go to Bucks Falcons. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win 23-20 on a missed Young Ho Koo field goal. Matt, Emeka Egbuka is the best wide receiver in this rookie draft class, and it is not particularly close. Fair or overreaction? Yeah.
I think that's fair. Reflecting on it, I almost wonder if the only reason he wasn't more talked about in that discussion during the draft period time is because he's a slot receiver. While you probably want him in the slot most of the time, you can move him outside. He can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the best receivers in any given season over the last several years have been primarily in the slot. So
I was watching him on Sunday, and I was like, it's a little Amon-Ra St. Brownish in the way that Amon-Ra was like a slot receiver coming in, and he could move outside, and now he does they do all these things with him. 4 catches for 67, 2 touchdowns for Egbuka, and the game winner with 59 seconds left. Worth mentioning, he was a my guy for Matt. I know it's only been 1 week, but something that should have been telling, though, is think about all of the great receivers he played with at Ohio State during his time there. Like, he was there for, like, basically every receiver that's come out of Ohio State the last 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
And none of those guys are Ohio State's all-time leading receiver because Egbuka is. And then he gets into preseason, and there's all this hype about him and like how amazing he is and all that stuff. And it's hard to sort out what's real and what's fake during the preseason. But that was obviously real because they fucking love him, and he was awesome on Sunday.
Yeah. He's really fucking good. Another one from that game. Bijan Robinson is getting cucked again.
Yeah. I'm going to say overreaction because he had like 100 receiving yards.
Yes.
Something like that. Like they were thrown to him
70 of those were on one catch.
Hey,
so
50-yard touchdown to start the game.
Okay.
But
right. No, it was Brees that I was thinking he had 70.
The bigger concern for the Falcons is they could not run the ball at all against Tampa's front. Like I think Bijan ended up with like 7 carries for 19, and then like Tyler Algier couldn't get anything going either. So I think
the bigger concern is the McGarry injury.
Yeah. Yup. Steelers 34, Jets 32.
Hell yeah. This game is lit.
This is Overreaction Central. Matt, Aaron Rodgers is a legitimate NFL quarterback still. 22 for 30, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns. And for anybody that didn't see it, had a couple of vintage Aaron Rodgers throws. One of the touchdowns was like that little fading away off the back foot, bullet into the end zone for a touchdown. Like he actually looked pretty good, as much as I hate to say
it. Overreaction. He still couldn't move. He got hit quite a bit in that game. So, I mean, I give him until maybe week 6 until we start really seeing him struggle physically. And also, one of those 4 touchdowns was literally just a tap pass. So, like, he did 0 work on that one. So,
quarterback's best friend. That's my road to glory.
They really, yeah. But I will say, when they did more of the Arthur Smith stuff, the offense looked good. When they kind of got into the stuff that Aaron Rodgers seems to really like, they did not look good at all. So, maybe they should just not listen to Aaron Rodgers, as has been the case his last 4 years.
You will address Chode Coach Arthur Smith with his proper honorific on this podcast. Cannot say Arthur Smith without calling him Chode Coach.
You're right. He's still a Chode, even though it looked good.
I still don't like him.
I'm honestly surprised that was the one that you went with from this game, because the most important reaction from this game is Justin Fields is good now?
Overreaction.
Because he looked great. He didn't miss a single throw.
Yeah. I'm going to say overreaction because he looked really good in a couple games to start last year as well for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. I think like Fields, this is the thing with Fields. and all the field stands who still believe in him
Yeah.
is that he has games and moments where it's like, yes, that is why he was drafted so high. That's
Yeah.
why he was like the number 2 prospect
Mhm.
behind Trevor Lawrence in high school. And he flashed on Sunday in a big way, but I need to see more before I say that he's good.
Yeah.
Is he the best quarterback Garrett Wilson's ever played with? That could be fair, but the bar is exceedingly low for
exceedingly
that.
low.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, they did a really good job of not asking him to do things that he just isn't good at. So a lot of the throws were more to the outside, not asking him to kind of like layer throws into the middle of the field. Um, they're gonna need him to be able to do that to get through the season, for him to continue playing well. So I'm with you. I do think that will kind of come back down to earth. But if he is willing to carry the rock 10 times a game, I think that definitely puts the offense in a much, much better spot than they were last year in Pittsburgh. Aside from the loss, honestly, if you're a Jets fan, I don't know how you could be any happier about that game.
Yeah, I just wonder if the Jets scoring 32 is going to be, we look back at week 1 like 10 weeks from now and go, holy shit.
Their season high.
Yeah. Imagine having an offensive coordinator that looks at the strengths and weaknesses of the team and has a game that's coordinated to their strengths, because I have Josh McDaniels back in my life and he didn't fucking do that at all. He's like, hey, Drake May, stand in the pocket and throw it 46 times while we run 2.
Yeah.
I'm still mad. Jaguars 26, Panthers 10. This is a sad one. Bryce Young did not make the leap. TM. So many Panthers fans thought that the end of last season was the leap. Bryce Young's first game against the Jaguars defense, 18 of 35, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and a lost fumble. Not good.
Yeah, I'm going to say overreaction. No Jalen Coker. So I don't think that helped. I mean, his best option was Ted McMillan, who rookie, unproven, truly hasn't had the time to like build chemistry with. So, and they traded away Adam Thielen. So, like, I'm gonna say week 1, like, I want to see more data points before I'm all in on that. There's some yellow lights blinking, definitely, but I'm not ready to fully go in that direction yet.
It felt like the check engine light came on while the Panthers were driving, and they're like, should we stop?
Yeah. So is ETN back?
Yes.
Like,
I'm going to say yes.
Like, he looked really good.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because like the Liam Cohen offense has been phenomenal for running backs. And I think the question with Jacksonville was like, what running back is it going to be, especially for fantasy purposes? Because like ETN, Bigsby, and Tootin were all like kind of together at the end of fantasy drafts. And it was like, I don't know, man, if you can get it right, you might have a starter.
Yeah.
And I think people forget it was not that long ago that ETN was drafted in the first round of an NFL draft, and that there was a reason for that. He is very talented, and I think he reminded some people. But like Bucky Irving burst onto the scene in that Liam Cohen offense last year. He might just be like the best run game coordinator in the NFL.
Yeah,
we'll find out. They have the Bengals.
I think I might have heard that ETN like did some reworking on his body too. I think he might have like bulked up a little in the lower half. Which, I mean, anytime you're moving into the NFL, you're gonna have to do that. Everyone's just stronger.
It's got those big meaty
So,
thighs that you love in a running back.
oh god, that'll never die.
No, I won't let it. Commanders, the should be fighting Georges, 21, Giants 6. I feel like you've said overreaction to most of mine so far, but this one's going to get a fair. The Giants need to move on from Russell Wilson immediately. Like today. He should not start on Sunday.
So the reaction that I wrote down was dark now.
Yes.
So no, this is fair. I didn't like bringing in Russell Wilson in the first place. I just don't think he's a starting quarterback anymore. I think it's debatable if he's a quarterback anymore. And he was awful. You clearly don't like Jameis Winston enough to even give him a camp battle with Russell Wilson. So just put the guy in that you're trying to develop. Do it.
Yeah. Russ was 17 of 37, 168 yards. Took a couple sacks. He had 44 rush yards, but the Giants offense only managed 231 yards against the Commanders defense, which was 64 less than their average last year when they were led by Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito. Yeah. So not good.
Yeah, and I feel like Russ is always outside of Marshawn Lynch, like not had a very good run game. And the quarterback is a big part of making sure that you're in the right running play or running to the right side. So I don't think he's helping that situation either.
Yeah. Cardinals 20, Saints 13. I'm not going to lie to you. This was like the hardest game to come up with a reaction for. Trey Benson is the key to Arizona making the playoffs this season. And I'll give you a quick case for it. Arizona had a massive issue creating explosive plays last year.
Yeah.
They were tied for 7th worst for plays of 20 yards or more last season. Yeah. The other teams that were down there, the Giants, Pats, Dolphins, Browns, Bears, Chiefs, Panthers, and Titans, give you an idea of how bad they were at creating big plays last season. They were also tied for dead last with only 3 plays that went for 40 yards or more last year. So it was a huge bugaboo for them because they had to be extremely methodical with Kyler Murray, which is not where you want to be. Trey Benson comes in and rips off a 50-yarder against the Saints, ends up running, I think it was like 8 times for 70-something yards and 50 of it coming on one run. But
yeah,
if they can add a home run hitter to this offense in one way or another, I think it's going to be a tremendous help for them.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's fair. To me, reminiscent of, prior to drafting Gibbs and signing Monty, right? Like the Lions had a very good run game. It was not the best in the league, but it was very good. When you jump from Swift to Gibbs, when you jump from Jamal Williams to Monty, like it's hard to express how much that changes the calculus for your offense when you can get the explosive plays on top of like the methodical, like, yeah, we got 4 yards, we got 5 yards, we got 3.5, we got 6, right? Like when you can get those 15, 20, 50-yard runs, it really, really increases your room for error over the course of a game.
Yeah,
So
I'm in the same spot. I think this is true. I think eventually Trey Benson takes this backfield from James Conner at some point
yeah.
this season. And I think it's going to be more of a split. Like until that point, it's going to be more of a split than people expect because they need the home run hitter aspect.
Mm-hmm. Um, this game was closer than I feel like it should have. So I just wrote down we all overhyped the Cards a little bit.
I'm going to say overreaction. I still think the Saints are going to be bad, but it's game one. There's a lot going on. Like, well, we'll see. But that's one, like, if we had a third option, I would put that one between fair and overreaction. Because I'm like, maybe
that's one
I need to see more.
Yeah, you're like, I'm waiting.
Inconclusive because I think we both had the Cards around a 500 team, but there were people picking them to go to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm like, that's a little too much for me.
San Fran keeps getting hurt. They might get 2 free wins, so
it's fair. I think that's interesting about San Fran this weekend is like they're probably going to be playing Mac Jones and all their backups. We'll see if the Saints can win that game.
Yeah.
And then we'll determine how bad the Saints actually are. Bengals 17, Browns 16. Matt, we need to be betting against the Bengals the first 2 weeks of every single season. This is who they are. They beat the Browns by 1 point. The Browns missed a PAT and a 36-yard field goal and had 2 drop passes end up getting intercepted in this game. Joe Burrow is now 2-9 in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season in his career. He is 0-5 for week 2 in his NFL career. He has never won a week 2 game. They play Jacksonville this week. Very interesting. Jacksonville at home. Coincidentally, he's 2-9 the first 2 weeks of the season. You want to guess what his record is as a starter week 15 through 18? He has 10 starts week 15 through 18.
How many years is that now?
It's like 5 years, but he hasn't started every season. So it's 10 games. He started 10 games. Yeah.
I'm going to say 9-1.
Very close. He's 10-0. He's never lost week 15 through 18. The problem is he's missed like 2 seasons worth of those games.
That's right, because, the losses I'm thinking of are when he was hurt. Joe Burrow is part of the problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, what other quarterback would we let off the hook for those first 2 weeks having such a bad record?
Yeah.
And I mean, even looking at his stats from this Sunday, take away the interceptions, okay, like those are off the receiver's hands. The numbers still weren't good. It's not like he played well.
Yeah. No, the interceptions went off the Browns receivers' hands.
Okay.
That's how Cincinnati got both their picks, is that the Browns turned it over on 2 bobbles. Yeah, so it wasn't a good day for Burrow though. Like,
yeah, no, Burrow I know did not play well.
It was rough. This was the outline of why we typically, and I'm going to say typically because we're probably going to do it today, but we typically don't pick division games in the Eliminator pool.
No.
Although there's a juicy one this week. 49ers 17, Seahawks 13. Here is the Seahawks reaction that I promised. Nobody should ever be excited about a Clint Kubiak coached offense. Why? What? Like this whole offseason, people were like, oh, this entire offseason, people were like, oh, the zone run game and all of these things that Clint Kubiak's going to bring and Kenneth Walker's going to be so good with the zone run system. It's going to be amazing. And Sam Darnold, all he has to do is throw off play action. The Seahawks offense fucking sucked on Sunday. Yeah. It was horrible. Sam Darnold threw for 100 yards while Geno threw for like 380. So I think that reaction of yours earlier is fair, but I'm waiting to see a little bit more. But Like Clint Kubiak got fired from the Saints last year because he wasn't good enough to coach the Saints. Seattle brings him in, and we should all be excited about it.
Yeah, I was willing to watch and see what happened because after week 2, basically everyone important on that offense got hurt. So it made sense why they sucked.
But do you remember
beyond the scheme?
After week 2 of last season, they were like the highest DVOA in the history of football through 2 weeks. They're like 99% DVOA offensively.
They put up 91 points over 2 weeks.
Yeah, everybody was like, Clint Kubiak. And I feel like Seattle stopped watching football after that last season. Because they're like, Clint Kubiak's going to be great for us. Clint Kubiak's never been great for anybody ever. He sucks. He's been fired. He's coached 2 years as an offensive coordinator and was fired both times. We're probably going 3 for 3 if they look like this again.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's fair, but I still want to see more. I feel like there's a chance it can turn around. But it's not looking good. Like, you're going to have to beat the allegations.
Yeah. It was a rough start, but new quarterback, new offensive coordinator.
Yep.
New pieces, Metcalf and all these guys aren't there anymore.
New guys on the offensive line.
JSN looked good.
Yeah, because he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he is really good.
For San Francisco, the injuries have come and they're already doomed.
Overreaction. Just because we don't know how long the injuries are going to last. And we laid it out in the preseason that the schedule is so easy that they could be that team that's 3-3 or 2-4 or whatever, and they win 8 games in a row, and all of a sudden they're back in that wild card spot. Winning this one, I think, was big for them to get a division win and then lose all your people.
They definitely needed it to have a shot if they're gonna have these injuries this early. Might be a slight overreaction, but we knew injuries were going to happen because their stars are old and old players get hurt. That's just what happens. And
the funny thing is,
that this is just going to get worse.
The injuries didn't happen to the people you would expect. It's not like Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey, although McCaffrey didn't practice today.
Yeah, but
I did not expect Brock Purdy to get hurt.
Yeah, Brock Purdy was a bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
McCaffrey, we don't know if he's going to play or not, but we know he's not practicing today. George Kittle doesn't surprise me because he's gotten injured over the years, and that's largely due because he's just taken 1 billion hits and he's a really physical player. So, that's unfortunately a risk that comes with him, whether if he's on your team or on your fantasy team. That is part of the gamble with him is he's got to be on the field. So
I'm just going to warn the fans ahead of next week's podcast that if the Patriots lose to the Dolphins in Miami this week and Mac fucking Jones leads the 49ers to a win over the Saints, Matt might be recording the podcast by himself. If Drake May loses and Mac Jones wins a game, I may not be here. I may not be here next week.
We'll just be all shitting on Green Bay the entire time.
Broncos 20, Titans 12. Matt, Bo Nix is going to limit the ceiling of the Broncos. Is that what your overreaction is to?
I literally just wrote Nix ?
Yeah. So
Like,
the
it was
Broncos
rough.
the Broncos defense allowed 6.2 yards per drive on Sunday. Per drive. 3 NFL teams had more yards per play than Tennessee had per drive on Sunday. They were in an absolute stranglehold. They kicked 4 field goals, all off of Broncos turnovers, 3 of which were Bo Nix himself, threw 2 interceptions and lost a fumble. Just did not look good on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's an overreaction for now. And I just want to remind people that Tennessee actually had the best pass defense in the NFL last season. And Tennessee's defense was like way better than the stats said it was like points wise, because see, I'm mixing them up already. Will Levis put them in so many horrible positions that they were like first in yards allowed, but like 20th in points allowed. So I think that defense is sneaky good, but at the same time, Bo Nix was always going to be the limiting factor of this Broncos team this year, because like the rest of this team was really good on Sunday. Like 6.2 yards per drive. I don't care if it was Cam Ward's first start in the NFL. That is elite level stuff from the Broncos defense.
Broncos are real lucky they won this game.
We're really lucky the Broncos won this game. They were our eliminator pool pick.
Yeah. Man, Sean Payton had a terrible game as head coach. And the only reason that the Broncos won is because Brian fucking Callahan had a worse game as a head coach. They were up 6-3 with, I can't remember how much time left. But they were like, I want to say they were like backed up in their own end zone. There wasn't a whole lot of time left. They could have just run the ball and gone in to the half up 6-3. They throw the ball 3 times and give the ball back to the Broncos.
Yeah. My initial overreaction, initially I was going to do an overreaction about Cam Ward, but I don't want to react to Cam Ward's game at all, because playing in Denver, period, as a visiting team is a massive pain in the ass. I'm speaking from experience of watching the greatest quarterback of all time continuously go in there and struggle.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. For anybody who doesn't know that, you can see all of it. Here's the Tom Brady jersey right here. You can see it because we're on YouTube now. Greatest quarterback of all time. Struggled in Denver. First career start. Hard enough. In Denver, harder. Best defense in the league, probably. Hardest. Like, that is the hardest possible position you could put Cam Ward in. And you know what Brian Callahan does? He's like, I'm going to make it harder on you because you have a shitty head coach. Let's throw the ball. Yeah, not great. So no reaction on Cam Ward until like a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I thought maybe there's a chance that like Cam Ward buys Brian Callahan extra time. Brian Callahan is working real hard to make that not possible.
Yeah, like, this is going to be the classic, like, we have to fire him because we have Cam Ward, not Cam Ward buys some more time. All right. I don't want to do this one to you, but Packers 27, Lions 13. Green Bay is the best team in the NFC.
Huge overreaction.
I thought the defense looked incredible the other day. It forced me to apologize to my sister and my brother-in-law, who are huge Green Bay Packers fans, and called us out on our Green Bay Packers defense takes. Jordan Love was really efficient. He was 16 of 22 for 188 and 2 TDs and avoided turnovers, the most important thing for Jordan Love. If he can be efficient and avoid turnovers this season, I think their ceiling is much higher than we gave them credit for in the preseason.
Yeah. So a few things here. And I will admit that there are some things that I overlooked a little bit, but I mean the biggest thing in that game was the communication on the offensive line was atrocious. Uh, pretty much every single one of those 5 starters, since they have had a microphone in their face since that game, have been like, we were not communicating well. We were running different plays individually amongst each other. And like, yeah, if you do that, the defense is going to look like a world beater. Right? Like, it just it's not really all that complicated once you know like that was going on. One of the contributing factors too is we were in Green Bay, right? They were super jacked after the Parsons trade and finally drafting a wide receiver. Which congrats to you guys on that. Especially, I just love that it was after Aaron Rodgers was gone. That's what just makes it so funny.
They're like, they love love like I love love. They're like, they're like, who we like is Jordan Love. He's not an asshole. Let's get him some help.
Yeah. But like seeing some of the film, like, yeah, if the offensive line communicated better and were passing off pass rushers to each other like they have in the past, like there were throws to be had that were more in the intermediate part of the field. Like it was gettable. And I mean the Lions drove down the field several times. They got to the red zone 4 times. And they just didn't score when they were there. This was a team that showed up to play football against a team that prepared to play the Lions. And that is 2 very different levels of preparation. So like I do want to give Matt LaFleur his flowers on that because yeah, like the last 3 times we played them, we like handed them their ass, right? And obviously that stuck with them. And they were ready to fucking inflict some pain back, which if you're a Packers fan, that's what you want out of your team, right? Yeah. So good to them on this. That. Evan Williams had a really good game. I'll give him credit there. But I still really worry about their ability to defend the intermediate pass against a team that can pass protect.
I love this take because Erin said that you are the Bill Simmons of Detroit sports. The other day, she's like, I love Matt's homerism. He is the Bill Simmons of Detroit sports. And this is like peak Bill Simmons level take for your rival to come out and absolutely punch you in the dick all day on Sunday and for you to come on the podcast and be like, these are the reasons they actually suck. Here they are. Fuck these guys. I love the level of pettiness. I appreciate.
It's fine. I mean, your sister grew up in Michigan and now she's a Packers fan. She is the Benedict Arnold of Michigan.
She's a traitor. She's a traitor. So, you know what my problem is? My sister got super into the Milwaukee Bucks because her husband's a huge Bucks fan, and he's been on the podcast before to talk about the Bucks. But like I don't care about that because I'm a Kings fan, and I obviously like I don't wish being a Kings fan on my worst enemies, much less my sister. Mm-hmm. But I was like, you live in Boston now, right? Yeah. Look at all the jerseys on my wall. We're huge Boston fans. Bruins, Pats, Red Sox. Just root for one of them, and she's just like Milwaukee across the board. on everything. And I'm like, we've lost her. We've lost her, Matt. I'm just glad she cares about sports now because she texts me about sports all the time and it's awesome. I love it. But you couldn't pick one Boston team? Just one. One Boston. Although the Packers looked a lot better than the Pats on Sunday, so maybe she had the right idea. Rams 14, Texans 9. Matt, this is just who the Texans are. This is who they are. The defense was good. The offense was not. Stroud was pressured on 41% of his dropbacks, is the number I saw from NFL. I think it was like NFL Advanced Stats.com, whatever it is. The Advanced Stats said 41% of the dropbacks he was pressured. He was sacked 3 times, hit 7. The D kept them in it, but the offense scored 0 points in the second half. And all of the issues I had with the Texans in the preseason were on full display, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, we were both fully on the I don't want to pick Houston train this year, and they validated it. So major questions as to whether or not anyone else in that division can actually capitalize on that. But
hey, yeah. both the teams we picked are 1-0, baby.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that surprise. The offensive line that everyone was like, this doesn't seem improved just because it's different. Didn't appear to be improved. Granted,
some would say it was worse. Laramie Tunsil's not on it anymore.
Yeah,
not great.
They certainly didn't have the easiest test in the world, but you're great. Like, too bad. There's also now tape on you, so it's not going to get easier.
Yeah, I think it actually gets a lot worse before it gets any better. They play the Bucks on Monday Night Football. We saw the Rams could not run on them at all.
Yeah.
They have games against, well, they have like Jags and Titans, but then Ravens, Seahawks, 49ers, Broncos. Not fun if you can't protect your quarterback.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, Bills 41, Ravens 40. This needs to be the AFC Championship game this year. We need the rematch.
I think that's fair. I think that will be the most fun AFC Championship game. I'm going to throw this at you, given the stat that we now have about the Ravens and blowing games where they have a over 90% win expectancy over the last, was it 3 years now?
Yeah, so the stat Matt's referring to is that they have blown 8 games since 2021 where they had a win probability of 90% or higher, which is 3 more than any other NFL team in that time frame.
Okay, yeah, so a little longer than I thought. The Ravens a paper tiger?
Overreaction. This was the thing when I picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, is I was like, it's going to fuck me in the dumbest fashion possible, is basically what's going to happen. I think, like, I didn't watch this game and say Ravens bad. I watched this game and said, good God, Josh Allen, good.
Yeah.
But that entire comeback happened after Kyle Hamilton left the game, too. And it's like, I think there's something to be said for if that one guy is that important to your defense, then you have some concerns. But at the same time, he's the best player at his position in the NFL, probably. Yeah. And it looked like they completely fell apart without him. The offense was a concern. They had, Derrick Henry fumbles, which is why they lost the game. Also had like a 3-and-out late in the game. So yeah, I want to see the rematch though. Like there is no more fun matchup in the NFL than Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen, and it was on full display on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I was dead tired watching that game. I was like, I really need to go to bed, but I was not about to go to. First of all, I wouldn't have been able to sleep laying there being like, God, I need to know what happens in this game. So it wasn't going to happen. I had to stay up and see it.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was one of those games where you're tired the next day and you're like, so worth it. This coffee was invented for a reason, Matt. People poured hot water through beans for a reason. Go have a coffee. Do you have anything else on that game before I go to the last one?
No, that was my question.
Yeah.
Are they a paper tagger? Because it's been a question for them over the last several years, really.
Yeah, that's just like I still go back to the year they ran the ball 6 times in the AFC Championship.
You always will.
They beat 5 playoff teams by like I forget what this like 3 scores I think it was or more, including like you saw it firsthand with the Lions that year.
They beat the brakes off us.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of everybody, and they should have won the Super Bowl that year if they would have run the ball more in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
You know, run it. This is like my bugaboo in life now is like you didn't run the ball enough. The Patriots did it on Sunday, and it pissed me off. Final game, Monday Night Football. Vikings 27, Bears 24. Kevin O'Connell is the QB whisperer. McCarthy up and down on Monday, and then when it mattered, no more down, only up. Vikings scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the aforementioned Sam Darnold in Seattle, 16 of 23 for only 100 yards, and Kirk Cousins sat on the bench in a loss in Atlanta. Kevin O'Connell, QB whisperer.
I mean, I thought this was just a commonly accepted fact at this point.
Yeah. I think the thing was more like he did it with Darnold last year. Can he do it again? And it's like, yes, he can.
Yeah, he was a little slow getting through some of his throws in the first half, which kind of made it maybe look a little worse than it was. But it makes sense for his first start. He was just under fire the entire first half. They could not protect to save their goddamn lives. That pick 6 happens. And I mean, at that point, it doesn't really look like it can turn around. And then he becomes a totally different player after that pick.
Yeah.
So
this might just be like who JJ is too.
Yeah.
Is like,
so
he, not going to be that great during the game, and then like when it matters, he makes the clutch plays.
I mean, I'm just gonna say the reaction is JJ has that it factor.
I think that's fair, because I think like the thing about him in college was always the intangibles as well at Michigan. And I think he just has, it's Clint's favorite part of the game. He just has the intangibles, man. Like he has that je ne sais quoi about him, and it showed. All right. That is all 16 games from week 1. We now go to, before I go to the next segment, I just want to give you guys some life advice. Get you a woman who brings you an ice cold Diet Coke halfway through the podcast. Like, this is coming out on Thursday, the 11th. My 5-year anniversary with my wife is the 12th. I have had 5 gorgeous, blessed years of being married to the most wonderful woman in the entire world. And this is just one example of her wonderfulness. Is she just walked right up here halfway through the pod and she's like, thought you might want this. I was like, I have never wanted anything more. America's favorite segment is back. Bolds and Scolds, week 1 of the NFL season, brought to you by Diet Coke. Not really, but it should be. Diet Coke, if you would like to advertise, hit us up, fouledoutsports@gmail.com. You can sponsor Bolds and Scolds, America's favorite segment. Matt, I'm going to give you the first bold of the 2025 NFL season.
All right. I'm going to go with Tanner Engstrand. I feel like the vast majority of us expected this Jets offense pretty much all year, and almost, if not, almost certainly at the beginning of the year, to look like hot garbage based on the ingredients he had to cook with. And when I was watching that game, I could not click away to go watch another game, because that game kind of turned into must-watch TV for me. Justin Fields playing, quite honestly, the cleanest game I've ever seen him play. He didn't miss any throws. There were some incompletions, but he was on target all day. Got him going in the run game. There was a Breece Hall resurrection. I think a lot of people had kind of just given up on Breece Hall. And there he goes for 107 yards on 19 carries. 5.6 yards per carry.
He was good in the receiving game too.
Yeah. Yeah, he had another 36 yards there. The connection between Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson seems to just pick right back up from college. 7 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. I think what stood out to me is they didn't ask Justin Fields to do, like I said earlier, do any of the things that he's not good at. I think it'll be harder to continue to do that going forward, but man, they should have won this game. They're a special teams turnover away from probably winning this game.
Yeah,
so,
not to mention Boswell hit a 60-yard field goal to win it.
Yes, right? So,
which for Boswell is automatic, though, at this point. He might be the best kicker in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it forever. So,
yeah.
I was blown away watching that game. That was not what I expected that game to be.
It'll be very interesting to watch them at home against the Bills on Sunday. That's a totally different animal. So,
yes.
I don't disagree with you. I thought the offense was great, but also giving up 34 points to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, concerning when you have Josh Allen coming to town next.
Well,
so
that's why I specifically said Tanner
the OC.
So,
my bold for week 1 is Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. That was the most impressed I have ever been with Herbert in his 6 years in the NFL, however long it's been. I thought that was the best game he's ever played, and I fully expected the Chargers to charge at the end of that game. They're up 27-18 with 4 minutes left. The Chiefs get a field goal. The Chargers get the ball and throw on one of the downs, and I was like, oh, here we go. Classic Chargers football. Chargers going to charge, Chiefs going to chief, and we're going to, basically the same shit that we see all the time. It's going to be 28-27 Chiefs. Chris Jones goes inside and loses contain while rushing the passer. Herbert sees it, identifies it, gets outside, and makes the game-winning run however many yards down the sideline. Just, chef's kiss. The best game I've ever seen Herbert play. Still need to see him win when it matters in the playoffs.
Yes.
This was a good start. A good start for Herbert this season.
Yeah, he played incredible ball. And that
They
connection with Keenan Allen, like, just
yeah.
picked up off. They only spent a year apart, so it goes right back to the
The
Chargers.
do you know what their run pass split was on Friday?
I don't, but I feel like it was the opposite of what we expected it to
Yeah,
be.
the Chargers threw on 65% of their plays.
Yeah.
I feel like it really fucked with Kansas City too. Like
Well,
they did not see it coming.
they spent the offseason getting Herbert weapons, and turns out having the ball in the hands of your best player the majority of the game is usually a good idea.
Yeah, but he was like cooking people throwing to like Tyler Conklin off play action. The heavy set play action for the Chargers is going to be a problem for people all year.
Yep.
All year. Who is your scold for week 1?
I'm just gonna say all of the Lions. All of the Lions. Every coach, every player, every goddamn one of them. I will say I thought the turf was a mess in that game. It wasn't just the Lions that were slipping. Like, I saw several Packers bite it, but like, also, y'all got to find the right cleats, right? Like, there's no excuses. Y'all could have changed cleats at halftime. Like, the offensive line, I already talked about what a mess they were. I mentioned how the Lions didn't really come in with a specific game plan for the Packers. I think the defense got better in the second half, but like, just overall, they didn't play like we've seen them play over the last several years. They were the bystanders that were just getting punched in the face. And it is really, really unfortunate for the Bears that happened in week 1.
Let's hope it doesn't happen again in week 2. My scold for week 1 is you and me. Because we went 0 for 5 on the gambling picks for the first time in the history of the podcast. 0 for 5.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we lost all 5 picks this week. It's never happened before, but everybody I've talked to who gambles had a bad week this past week. Like, and not just like bad, everybody like horrific weeks, but I don't think anybody did as bad as us going 0 for 5.
Yeah.
We will try to do better this week. We are now in the hole, $100 on the season, trying to make a comeback. Starting with Thursday Night Football, the Washington should be fighting Georges at the Green Bay Packers. Matt, I'm just going to try to get a W up on the board here. And I'm just going to take the Packers money line. They're favored by 3 at home right now. I think it's like minus 120 on the spread and minus 180 on the money line. On a $20 bet, that's only a $5 difference in your winnings. So I'm just going to try to get something in the black. It's like the classic, we just need to see the ball go in the hoop. Taking the Packers to win. What are you taking on Thursday night? Oh, Packers to win. Packers to win is minus 170 as of recording. So it went down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to take Josh Jacobs to get 100 plus scrimmage yards at minus 102. Of all the things that happened in that week 1 game, they were not able to run the ball well. I think that is something that Green Bay very much wants to do. And spoiler alert, Josh Jacobs is their best player. So, at least offensively. So
I think Jordan Love's their best player. I love Love.
You can love while recognizing that he goes probably as well as most games as Josh Jacobs goes. He is.
I love. I want to elaborate. Weekend picks. I'm gonna stay very vanilla here and just try to stack some wins because like we could start making this money back. We don't have to make it all back at once. I am gonna take the Broncos money line against the Indianapolis Colts is minus 130 right now. Broncos are favored by 1.5 on the road. I do not believe in the Colts just because they beat the crap out of the Miami Dolphins who were starting Storm Duck. I think the Dolphins are very bad. And I think that this game a week ago probably had a line of like 6.5. Maybe 3.5 because the Broncos are on the road. But like the line was not 1.5 a week ago. I think people are overreacting a little bit to the fact that the Colts kicked the Dolphins' asses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very interested to see Daniel Jones against what I think is the best defense in the NFL. Where are you going this weekend?
I'm thinking about taking the Tampa Bay money line.
The Tampa Bay money line is going to be relevant in a moment as well. So I don't blame you for taking it because we're going to have a long shot bet that possibly includes the Bucs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay money line at plus 114.
Yeah, I like that. They play Houston on Monday Night Football. All right, long shot bet of the week. I have 4 options. I've been in the lab cooking for the last couple of days because I saw that we lost all of our money last week. And I was like, the Thursday Night Football and the Sunday bets, let's just start building back up. The long shots when you hit it, you're right back up. We're right back in the black. So we have 4 options. The Eagles are playing at Kansas City this week. If you think the Super Bowl was not a fluke and that the Eagles can whoop their asses again, Eagles minus 13.5 is plus 422. Our other options, I said that the Tampa Bay game was going to be relevant in a minute. We have an underdog parlay. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football and the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Parlay those 2 money lines. It's plus 417.
That was another one that I looked at too.
Yeah, we just talked about how Joe Burrow is 0-5 during week 2 in his NFL career, and the Bengals were not good the first 2 weeks of the season. So those 2 games together is plus 417.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence to throw for 310 yards or more against the Bengals is plus 476.
He just wasn't good.
Yeah, that one though, I'm like, I think ETN is going to pound the rock.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But the last one, Travion Henderson, first TD of the game against the Miami Dolphins, plus 800. They only ran the ball 2 times in the second half last week. I think they fixed that. Which one of those options is the most appealing to you? I know where my lean is.
Yeah, but I think mine's the Eagles.
Okay.
Mainly because I only need one thing to hit. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. I will believe in Trevor Lawrence when I see it. Yeah.
All right.
One that I was actually, I feel like the lines have moved since I looked at it. Obviously, there's a little bit of homerism here, but I just knowing where this team is at mentally and how they currently feel about Ben Johnson.
It needs to be like Lions, like 18.5 or something to get to plus 400.
19.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot, though. There's a lot of pitfalls there. So
that is a lot. We'll go Eagles minus 13.5 at Kansas City. I think everybody's going to frame this as a Kansas City revenge game, and I was very concerned about them last week. The Eagles only have to win by 14. So our bets for week 2 of the NFL season, Green Bay to beat Washington, Josh Jacobs over 100 total scrimmage yards, Broncos to beat Indy, Tampa Bay to beat the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football, and the Eagles to beat Kansas City by 13.5 or more. Last part before we sign off. We did win our eliminator pool pick last week, the Broncos over the Titans. It was tighter than I would have liked it to have been.
We were technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Yes. 94.3% of the participants advanced last week. The Broncos were the most popular correct pick at 33.33%. So exactly 1/3 of the pool picked the Broncos. The most popular incorrect pick was the Miami Dolphins to beat the Indianapolis Colts at 1.24%. So lots of people advanced week 1. Notoriously difficult week. Probably means that we're in for a culling either this week or next week. That said, I have 5 options for us to pick from. We have the Rams at the Tennessee Titans. This one's a cross-off now. Initially, I had the 49ers at the Saints, but now with the news that half the 49ers are going to be missing, we are not taking that one.
Yeah.
We have the Bills at the Jets. Risky business. That's a road division game.
Yeah.
Against the Jets offense that look good. We have the Cardinals at home for the Panthers. And then my favorite pick of the week. It's breaking a rule, but we have the Baltimore Ravens at home for the Cleveland Browns. I don't see the Ravens going 0-2 after how last week ended. Not against a shitty Brown squad. Which one of those do you like the most?
See, like that one, in theory, makes all of the sense in the world. Except I have watched this Ravens team lose to the Browns.
Yeah. This was the culling last season.
Okay. How the hell as someone who's not really a Ravens fan, are we this traumatized by the Ravens?
The spread on that game is like 13.5, I think. Let's see what it is. 11.5 currently. The Ravens are minus 750 to win, Matt. This is the classic pick the Ravens, bet the Browns. Classic, like fouled out classic. I say we go Ravens. I know it's a scary proposition. I know this is exactly what happened last year where they lost to the Chiefs week 1 and we were like, there's no way they'll go 0-2. We're picking them against the Raiders. And they did, in fact, go 0-2. But it is a home game against the Browns after this horrible... Like, you think the Lions are going to be pissed off on Sunday? I think the Ravens are going to be fucking pissed after how that Bills game ended. Ain't no way, Matt. Ain't no way the Browns beat the Ravens this weekend.
I can't argue with any of the points you're making. Except for having watched them lose to the Browns.
Except it's the Ravens, damn it.
Yeah. I'm going to go with it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
The problem is I don't really like any of those other options enough to be like, we're not going to take the Ravens. Right? It's the number one rule.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about the Rams at the Titans, but
I like the thing I don't like about that.
If for no other reason than Brian Callahan will find a way to lose the game.
Yeah, it's McVay versus Callahan, but the thing I don't like about that is the Rams going to the East Coast.
Yeah, it's on the road.
Oh, wow. Quote unquote East Coast. They're going to the Central Time Zone, so it's a 2-hour difference. But they're going on the road. The Tennessee Titans, I still think the defense is underrated. I still think it's underrated. So we are locking in the Ravens to beat the Browns. And just God help us. The number one rule of the eliminator pool is the best team you can pick versus the worst team. That is what this is. Purely. We're breaking the in-division rule, which if this bites us in the ass, I'm going to say that was the rule we shouldn't have broken. I might also place a small wager on the Browns money line this weekend, just to have some backup. But that is it for us. As always, Fouled Out can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Overcast, anywhere you get your podcast. And now you can see our videos on YouTube. We've actually been getting more views on YouTube than we have on Spotify and all those other things. So thank you all for checking that out. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so that we can keep growing the podcast video version. I'm really happy that people are enjoying that because it's a lot of work, but you guys are worth it. You can find our videos on TikTok at Fouled Out Sports Podcast. It's a long name, but you can't miss it. And as always, you can email us, fouledoutsports@gmail.com. Matt and I will be back Thursday next week to talk about week 2 and start looking forward to week 3 of the football season. Just please, God, can the Patriots win this game so that I don't have to watch Mac Jones be 1-0 this season while my team is 0-2. That's what I'm watching for this weekend.
I keep forgetting that this is a video podcast too, so the level of pain that must have been on my face as we were deliberating that survivor pool situation.
That might make the video. That might make the video outtakes that go on TikTok and all that stuff. But we're still getting used to the video format.
As Adam pointed out to me, if you saw what you thought was a takeout container in my background in the past, it is not a takeout container. It's just art supplies.
Turns out it's art supplies, but
yes.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye, Mom.
Robin.